Detroit Lions rookie minicamp has begun, and I have all the updates for you guys. We're going to get into all of it. Terrion Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, Giovani Manu, Sione Vaki, what the rookies look like today. It is Friday. I know a lot of media members are out there covering rookie minicamp, but I have a lot of footage that I'm so thankful our local media has provided me to share with you guys. I'm going to make sure I try and credit every single one of the content pieces I show you guys. But like I said, we're going to dive into it all, give you guys some updates regarding rookie minicamp, what transpired, who impressed, and just really some of the clips, because I do think there are some interesting things that I was able to gather from, again, our local media. So we'll get into some of the footage, and it was nice to see new Lions corner Terrion Arnold out there wearing number 0. Look at him. He looks great. And just to see him out there competing, doing drills. He's officially wearing number 0. I think he's going off the Agent Zero theme there. And yeah, I mean, he looks good. And I can't wait to see him in training camp competing. It's going to be very, very exciting. That video footage is from Jenna Trotman, just to give credit there. And there was a lot of other things that also came out as well, not just the videos, which I will show another video here that I thought was very funny. And it's an interaction between Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. And it kind of shows the relationship those two have. And then I'll kind of get into what I think those two can become as kind of the future, rookie duo for the Detroit Lions. But check this clip out. Just hear these two interact, because I thought this was absolutely amazing. Let's check it out.
Bring my brother into the cut. They drafted both of us. So I would say us just coming in here and being the young guys and the dynamic, we're going to be here for a long time. We're going to grow together. We're going to excel together, take our losses together, take them on the chin. And I just thank the organization for drafting both of us. My brother right here.
Now, I got a question though, Terry. So now that you're a Lion, what's the first thing that you want to do as being in Detroit? Have you thought about that yet?
First thing I wanted to do is this, come and practice. So, that's out the way. Next thing I want to do is catch a pick 6 in the stadium.
I have one more question. Is there any new language that you learned from Detroit yet?
Yeah, I got to go get me some, what's the name of the shades, man? I got to go get me some of them. Yeah, I got to get me some of them. After I catch a pick, I got to put them on, but I got to go get me some of them. That right there.
Are you more comfortable?
I love it. I absolutely love it. By the way, what up, Doe would have been the some lingo there for you, Terrion Arnold, but he'll learn that soon enough. I appreciate the Buffs reference. But those two, man, I love it. They have a great relationship. And of course, when you're in the same draft class, especially round 1 and 2, and they both play the same position, and they're both great guys. So there's that. It's probably easier to become friends. But you look at the talent those two possess and what they can be for the Detroit Lions moving forward. Look at this corner room. Carlton Davis, short-term deal. He's got a year left on his contract. Amik Robertson isn't signed to a long-term deal as well, either. Those two are going to be the future of the Detroit Lions at the cornerback position. So that's what's so exciting about these two guys. And I know for Terrion, he's probably going to see the field sooner, in my opinion. I think he'll compete and win that CB2 spot this year and play alongside Carlton Davis on the outside. I am curious for Rakestraw. Does he play in the slot? Does he move around a little bit? Does AG does he get so impressed with Rakestraw to where he's like, hey, I got to get this guy in the field? Or does he maybe not play this year unless there's an injury and there's an opportunity? I think I'm comfortable with either way. Again, we have this discussion a lot. I think the Lions' roster significantly improved. So in terms of guys being able to contribute right away, there's not as much pressure on a Rakestraw to come in and just show out. I think Terrion's a little different because I think he could argue he's already one of the best corners you have, and Rakestraw is up there as well. But Terrion, his expectations are a little different in my opinion. He should see the field and be your CB2 this year. But those two, man, again, under rookie contracts, they're going to be here for the next, at least for Terrion, 5 years and then some. And Rakestraw at the minimum 4 years. It's crazy to think. Brad Holmes turned a weakness the last 2 seasons now into hopefully a strength. So that is great as well. It's going to be nice to see those two guys compete as training camp kind of approaches with some of the ones. But let's check out some other things we got to see. And by the way, that video was from Danny Rogers. So credit to her. She took the video. Want to make sure I give credit where credit is deserved. Let's get into Giovani Manu, who actually likes to be called Gio. So Gio Manu, I'll call him for respect for him. But let's check out this footage of Gio talking to the media And this is from Danny Rogers again. And he kind of went into his journey to the NFL. So I'll show this clip and then we'll react to it.
To just get better every day. And, one thing about me is that I refuse to get outworked by my peers, my opponents. So, that's one thing I carry myself. The way I look at it is that, if someone outworks me, it stops me from feeding my family, and my family means everything to me. So if you're stopping me from feeding my family, that's just going to add more fuel to my fire. So that's just the way I approach this.
Yeah, that dude. Okay. And I've said this before. Gio is it's by far the most intriguing draft pick to me, based on just how big he is, but also kind of the plan and the situation he's in, but the plan they have for him. I think Ray Agnew already came out and said that kind of what I've already said, and he's absolutely right. The situation, Hank Fraley, Penei Sewell, you got Taylor Decker, 2 great tackles to learn from, but not just that. The rest of the guys, Frank Ragnow, they just have veterans in that room that can show him the way. Even Graham, another great one. But Hank Fraley, to me, is the biggest X factor here in terms of what can you turn Gio Manu into. The guy's going to work his ass off. He already said it. And the way he put it, kind of going with the, hey, if I get outworked, I'm not going to be able to feed my family. That's a dangerous mindset, man. And it reminds me a lot of Penei Sewell's mindset. Not that he's Penei Sewell, but just that, like, I need to get it. I need to be great. I think that's going to buoy him very well. And I'm excited for Gio. I am. And hopefully, again, if he plays guard, if they transition him to right guard and then eventually right tackle, I think that works. And I think you see him probably in the next 1 to 2 years. I don't know if you'll see him this year because he's still developing, but maybe he does impress more. There was a quote in there. He said, "One thing about me is I refuse to get outworked by my peers and opponents. The way that I look at it is if someone outworks me, it stops me from feeding my family." So that's the exact quote, and that's impressive. That's the character check that Brad Holmes and them look at. Like, okay, this guy, he loves football. He absolutely loves football. Another guy who absolutely loves football that the Lions drafted is Sione Vaki. And Ray Agnew also had some comments on Sione today, and Jeremy Reisman put it out. And I want to make sure I give you guys the exact quote, so I'll pull it up here for you guys to kind of look at. But the exact quote from Ray Agnew, and I thought this was very interesting, and we'll cover this on the show later tonight, so please tune in 8 to 10 p.m. weekdays. But Ray Agnew, when asked about Sione Vaki, he said, "We see him as a running back, but we'll see what the coaches do." Now, there's no doubt he's going to play special teams. Let's get that very clear. And I think he'll be one of your best special teamers right away. But I think that quote stands out to me because they drafted him. Obviously, he's listed as a running back. That was also reported. Will he play safety? They re-signed CJ Moore, and he's a pretty good special teamer as well. But that's why when we initially graded the draft picks or we discussed them, my biggest thing was I don't know how to grade this pick or how to project him because I don't know what the plan for him is. I just know he's a football player, and I know he with the ball in his hands, he can make plays. But if he's a running back, he's not going to see the field unless there's an injury. So, would I prefer him to play safety, mix him in at safety? Yeah, because I think he could see playing time. And I saw him lay out Jalen Polk and absolutely decimate him. So there's interest there. But I trust the evaluation of not only Ray Agnew because he's a future GM, but also the coaches. So if they think he's more of an offensive weapon, I'm curious what Ben Johnson can get out of him. I don't think he sees the field on offense this year. Given there's not an injury. There might be in the running back room, but I think that's the only way Ray Agnew, Sione Vaki sees the field. So, again, what are your guys' thoughts on that quote? Do you see him as a running back, strictly? Maybe a special teamer? Or do you think there's some versatility there, like, hey, maybe you should play safety, maybe a little running back? I am curious. I mean, he's a 4th-round pick. So, again, if you're drafting a guy in the 4th round, it's not always going to be a superstar. It's not always going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown, so we have to get comfortable with that. If Sione Vaki is a 3rd-string running back, maybe he plays a little bit of safety and he's one of your best special teamers, some might look at that as a hit in the 4th round, considering what a lot of GMs draft in the 4th round. It's not very good. So I thought that quote was very, very interesting. And again, minicamp is really just a really meant for rookies to go out there, compete, get a feel for just being in a uniform out there on the field, talking to coaches. And I think it's a good kind of opportunity for fans to get to see these guys before in a couple months here, before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, and there's competition, and now more things are on the line, and roster spots, and guys competing. But I love this, and I want your guys' thoughts on it. What are some things that stood out to you in this minicamp? I thought, to me, it was the Ennis Rakestraw and Terrion Arnold, their relationship. I think that's amazing. If those two guys are in lockstep and they have a great relationship, they train together, Terrion Arnold's work ethic, and I would assume Ennis Rakestraw has that type of work ethic too. You might have two great corners in that cornerback room for the future, which is probably the biggest thing I'm taking away. The other thing is Giovani Manu and his potential, and Ray Agnew kind of stamping that. And hey, mentioning it like we've talked about, and I've mentioned Hank Fraley, the situation he's in. What can they get out of Gio Manu, not Giovani, excuse me, Gio Manu. And then the Sione Vaki running back quote, just all of those things. Please chime in, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe because we're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We're about 3,500 away, and you guys have been absolutely crushing it, so I appreciate you. Until tonight, or when you tune in next, it's Jeff Iafrate. I appreciate all of you.